Hello and welcome to my engineering drawing session. In our previous session, I have introduced what is orthographic projection, and we have seen some examples in session. What is front view, top view, side view, and first angle projection. We have seen how to draw for taking some engineering components. But in this session also, we will move forward to draw the front view, side view, and top view for some more components by considering some of the mechanical components, machine components in this session. In this session, let me take one example here now. This is a mechanical component, and for this component, I will try to draw the front view, side view, and top view in first angle projection. So this is a mechanical component, and I'm taking a component here. Then for this component, I'm assuming this as a front view, then this is my top view of just, then this is my side view. So if this is a front view, and I think you can see, I will take one pointer and as well as a pen here. I will take one pen to show you what exactly. When you see this component, this is exactly my front view, I'm assuming, or else this is an X, and in examination normally you will get this is an X. So this will be your front view. In examination, normally you will not get this as a top view. You will not, I mean, this indication will not be there. So you will have only X here. That means from that view we need to assume as a front view. So for that view we have to draw the front view, then top view, then this side view. So when you see this component from the top, so you can observe this figure, this surface, right? I am indicating this as a front view. Then you will find this face, then F1 you have, then F2 you have, this face you can see, and similarly this face also you can observe. And finally you can also observe this face also. F4 is also visible as a rectangle in front view. Then and this edge and this edge will coincide, so that you will find one arc in front view like this. And similarly you will find this total face, you can observe this total face in front view. Let me draw the front view first now. Just you take an XY line, then when you try to draw the front view for this component, as I said just now, you can see the F1, F2, F3, and F4, and similarly you will find one dotted line in the front view because you have two edges backside. So you can find two edges, two dotted lines, one at the right side and one at the left side. So two dotted lines we can find, and I think that's all from me. Then you move forward, it looks like, as I said just now, you can find F1 face here. This is our F1 face, of course. Then you can also see F2 face, as I said just now. This is your F2 face, then this is your F3 face. Then similarly you will also find F4, as I said just now, F4. Then I also said with you, you will find two dotted lines here because these you cannot observe. On the back side of this component you have the edges. Those edges you will find as a dotted line when you see from the top like this. This is exactly the front view of this component. And similarly you have a shape here, and this shape also you can see. Then when you try to draw the side view, so before drawing the side view, let me draw the front view, the top view first. So in top view you will find this face T1, you can see, And similarly you can also see this T2, and similarly you can find this face T3, and on the back side also you have one face, and this you have T4, and similarly you can find T5 here. Okay, then you will also have T6 here, and finally you will find two dotted lines here because you have a hollowness here. Those hollowness we will find two dotted lines, and similarly we can also find a dotted line here because we have two hidden grooves here, so that we will get two dotted line. This edge dotted line and this edge dotted line we will get. Let me move further to see, as I said just now. So you will find this T1, as I said, then you have T3 here. This is your T3. Then this is your T2. Yes, this is T2. Then we have T3 here, and this is our T3. Then similarly we have T4 here. This is our T4. Then we have uh, T4 and T5, T3, T4 and T5. So here we have, this is our T3, of course we have already indicated here, T2, T3. Then we have T5 here, T5, and finally we have T6 here. So totally 6 faces when we see this component from the top. Then we must have two dotted lines here, one at the left side and other at the right side. It looks like this. These two edges are hidden when we see from the top, just like when we see this component from the front. So these edges are hidden, so that we are represented this as a dotted line and this as a dotted line. Similarly, so these two edges, when we see this component from the top, will also shown or indicated as a dotted line like this at the respective distances. Then let me draw the left side view for this component. When I see this component from the left, so you will find this face, S1 face, and similarly you will find this S2 face, of course. Then similarly you will find S3 face here. So S1, S2, S3, and we will find one dotted line here because you can see this edge. You can't see this edge, so that we need to represent that as a dotted line inside. Similarly, we need to represent one more dotted lines here where we have a hollowness here, and similarly where we have hollowness. So both these places we must have two dotted lines, and as well as at this location. Let me show you how it looks like this in this figure. As I said just now, you will have this face and this face, and this is our S1 face. Exactly, this is our S1 face. Then this is our S2 face. As I said just now, this is our S2 when you see from the top, and this is our S3. Okay, so totally three faces. As I said just now, you cannot see this edge, so that you have to represent this as a dotted line. And similarly, you can't see this edge, we need to represent this as a dotted line. And similarly, you can't see this edge as a dotted line, that also we have to represent. So this edge represents bottom one, of course this is bottom, and this edge represents this hidden edge. And similarly, you must have one more dotted line here, that is at the hollowness at this location, at this location. So this is all the front view, side view, and top view of this mechanical component in first angle projection. In first angle projection, uh, front view will come above the XY line, and top view will come below the XY line, and the side view will come as usual. Left side view will come right side view will come left side. This is the convention of the first angle projection. This is also one of the important component that we have seen just now in first angle projection. Let me move further to see another component, because this is exactly the front view, top view, and left hand side. So now you take one more figure here. So to this figure, I would like to draw front view, side view, and top view. So now I'm assuming this as front view. That means this as X. This as X means this is our reference view, and we need to assume this side as a front view. So when you see this component as a front view, so in front view you can see this face F1. I'm assuming this as F1, and you can't see this face because this edge and this edge will coincide, and this edge and this edge will coincide, so that you cannot see this face and this face. So these two faces you can observe only in the top view, so not in the front view. So in front view you can see this face also, then, and this is also you can see, and similarly this face is also visible in front view. So front view you can see F1, this face, and this Y shape, and as well as this rectangular face you can see, and similarly F2, F3 you can see. Okay, so now let me move further to see, and okay, this is our top view and this is our side view. Okay, let me draw the front view first. Draw a XY line, then draw the front view. As I said just now, you have a F1 face, then similarly you have this is our F4, right? Then F2, as I said just now, this is our F2, then this is our F3. But you cannot see this line, so please erase this. You cannot see this line, it looks like this. So you have a Y shape, and you have one rectangular face attached to the Y shape. Then both the sides of Y we can find two faces, F2 and F3, like this. Then let me move further to draw the top. So in top view, you can find this rectangular face, even though it is a cylindrical surface. When you see from the top or front, it looks like a rectangle. So you can have one rectangular face here, T1, and you can find one more rectangular face here, T2, and you can also find one more rectangular face, T3 here. And similarly you will also find this face also, and T4, I'm assuming this as T4, and similarly to this side also you have one more face, T5. Okay, and you can also find this face, and T6 and T7, you can find T7, and this is your T8, and similarly you can find one more face backside to that, that is T9. So totally you will find 9 faces in top view, and it looks like this. Okay, you can see, as I said, your first T1 face is this is your T1 face. Okay, then your T2 face is this one, your T2 face is this one, and similarly you have T3 phase, then T4, as I said just now, this is your T4. As you can see here, we have a slant or inclined surface that looks like a rectangle when you see from the top also. The inclined surfaces will looks like the rectangular shape when you see from the top. Even when you see from the front also, those looks like rectangle. So T4, and then you have a T5 face, as I said just now, this is your T5, and similarly T6 exactly at this location, this is our T6, and then similarly this is our T8, then where is our T9? Of course this is our T9, top surface 9, then we have T8 also here. Okay, T8, T7 is missing. Of course, this is our T7 and this is our T8. So totally we have 9 faces, as you can see, and you will find one dotted line here. This curve shape we can find as a dotted line here. So that curve shape is this dotted line, that's curved shape. Then we have one more curved shape back side. So this is our dotted line. And similarly, this edge and this edge should also needs to be represented as dotted lines like this. So this edge and this edge looks like a dotted line here and here. So this is the top view of this component. Then let us try to draw the left side view. So when you see from the side, we can see the inverted T shape like this. You can see the inverted T shape. As you can see, uh, this is our side view. Okay, S1 I am assuming, and this is my S2 I am assuming, side face 2. And similarly, you will also find S3 face here. It looks like a rectangular face, even though it is a curved shape. But when you see from the 90 degrees to that face, it also looks like rectangular face. Now we have one more face here. It is C4, side 4. So S1, S2, S3, F4, S4, and finally we have one dotted line here. So then this face also you can see. So S3 and S4, right? S4 is over, then S5. Then similarly we have one more face S6 here. So totally 6 faces we can find, and S5, S6, and this face, and similarly you have this face also here and that side. So now let me draw this also, right? So as I said, this is our S1 and this is our S2, yes. Then this is our S4, right? Then this is our S6. Okay, so then we have this face also here, this face, but it looks like this web will come up to here, this web will come up to here, this projection will come up to here. Please make a correction, this will come up to here, and we have one thick line here, we have one thick line up to here, and up to here we have one thick line. So we don't get this line, we don't get this line, and we have one dotted line, so that we need to represent this edge which is above that. So this is exactly this edge we need to represent as a dotted line like this. So this side view looks like this. I draw this side view once again. So we have an inverted T shape here, then we have one uh, uh, dark line here up to here, and we have one dotted line here like this. This is a continuous line like this. So this dotted line represents this edge. This dotted line represents this edge, and this inclined surface represents this face, and this one, this one, this one, and this one. This is exactly the left side view of this component. Now let me move further to see one more example. This is a front view, and this is top view, and this is side view that we have seen. Now let me take one more example to draw the front view, side view, and top view. In this example, this we are assuming as front view like this. I am assuming this as X. So when you see from the top, you will find this face. Okay, when you see from the front, so you will find this face, and as up to here, up to this edge tangent, you will find a rectangle here, and similarly you will have a portion here, curved portion, and up to here we have one rectangular face. Then similarly we will find this is our face, and this edge will coincide, so no problem at all. We will find only one edge here, and similarly one circle you can see. So totally I'm assuming this as one surface, and finally we will get one dotted line here, two dotted lines to represent this a hole, and similarly we will find one dotted line to represent this hole. So this hole we need to represent it as dotted line, and this hole also we need to represent as a dotted line here in two rectangular faces. And similarly we have to represent this circle as a as a thick line in front. Now let me draw the front view first. So obvious this will become our top view and this will become our side view. Then draw XY line. First represent the front view. As I said just now, of course we need to represent this line also, this edge also as a dotted line. So that is this line. Then I also said with you this will become your phase 1 F1, and this I'm assuming this is an entirely a single phase, and you will get a dark line here, you will get a dark line here. So even though it is a curved surface, it looks like a rectangle, and we will find two dotted lines here exactly at the location of the hole. So in front view you cannot see this hole, and that hole edges we need to represent as a dotted lines like this. And similarly in the front view we cannot see this hole, and that hole also needs to be represented as a dotted line like this. And we need to represent the hole in front view is this one. So with these dimensions we need to draw the front view, and front view looks like this. And finally we must represent one dotted line which is hidden when you see from the top. So this line represents a dotted line like this. Now let me move further to see how to draw the top view for this. In the top view, we can observe two rectangular faces here. I'm assuming this as T1, and similarly you will find one top surface here. And we can also find one more surface here, T3, and you can see one dark circle and one curved surface here. And we can find two dotted lines. We need to represent this hole as a dotted line and this hole as a dotted line. And similarly, we have to represent this hole as a dotted line in top view. So as you can see, the top view looks like this. So this hole we can observe as a dark line here, and we have a curved surface. Of course, you can see one curved surface. This represents this one, and this circle represents this one. Similarly, as I said with you, you will find two rectangular faces here, T1, T2. You can see two rectangular faces here. Okay, and in these rectangular faces, in these curved surfaces, even though we can observe this as a rectangular face, so you will find two dotted lines to represent the hole like this. Okay, and similarly we have to draw one center line here to represent, and finally we need to represent one more hole which is at the bottom that also needs to be represented as a dotted line exactly at the center of this block, at the mid of this block. Exactly this is represented, and this is exactly at the mid of this block. So this is represented as a block, and this will be a dark line, and this hole is the dotted line here, and this hole is also a dotted line here, and this hole is also a dotted lines here. So now let me move further to see the side view. Okay, so now the side view looks like this. So in side view we will find, okay, I will go back. Side view, we can see this face as a rectangular face, and this face is also as a rectangular face, and similarly this is also a rectangular face. Finally, we can see one curved surface, that is S4, that you can see at the bottom of the three rectangular surfaces. And in the front view, we need to represent these two circles as a dotted line in the rectangular faces, and this circle also needs to be represented as a dotted line in the rectangular face. So totally we have one rectangular face here, and above this rectangular face we have two rectangular faces side to this rectangular face, and at the bottom of this rectangular block we have one curved surface like this. Now you can see here, as I said, we will get one rectangular face. This is our S1, okay, and this is our S2, this is our S2, and similarly this is our S3, okay. And in this phase, in these two faces, we will have the holes like this. So these two holes you cannot see, so that we need to represent as a dotted line like this. And finally, so this hole also we cannot see, that also we need to represent as a dotted line with the given dimensions. And at the bottom of this rectangular surface, so we have one more curved surface. It looks like this. So one semicircle we will get, one full circle we will get like this, exactly when you see from the side. So this is our front view and top view, and finally we have the side view. It looks like this. So then I'm taking one more example here. I am assuming this as a front view or X. I'm assuming. So when you see from the top, so you will find one surface here, L-shaped surface here. So I am assuming this as F1. This as F1. So even though it is a curved surface, but it looks like a rectangular surface with a height, with a given height. With this height, so we will find one rectangular face like this, even though you have a curved surface, but it looks like this. So this F1 face looks like this, even though we have a curved surface here. And this F1 face you can see, and this face also you can see. So this curved surface face, you will find one shape here. But this curved surface and this curved, this half semicircle and this semicircle will coincide with each other. And this edge will also coincide with each other. So finally you will get one F1 face here, and this is also F1 here, I am assuming. And F2 face here. Finally you will also get this face, F3. So F1, F2, F3 only you can see. And this edge will coincide, you cannot see. And finally we have a slot here, and that slot edge can be observed as a dotted line in front like this. So this edge you can see as a dotted line exactly like this in front view. Now let us see how to draw the front view for this. And you take one XY line here, and as I said just now, you will find F1, F2, F3 and one dotted line here. Yes, so this is your F1, I said with you just now, and this is your F2, and similarly you have F3, and I said just now you will find one edge dotted line here. This is the front view of this component. Then when you see from the top, you will find this face. Again, you will find this rectangular face. So top surface, and only one rectangle you will get, and T1, and this face you can see. So this face you are not observed in front view, but in top view we can see this face, T1, T2, and one more rectangular face you can see here. This cylindrical surface you can see as a rectangular block in top view, T3, and we have one more rectangular block here, and T4 and T5 you can also see this face, and you can also see this face as a rectangular block, and T6. That's all from me. So you can see this face, this slot when you see from the top. So now let us draw the top view. So it looks like this. As I said, so this is our T1, even though it is an inclined surface, I mean curved surface, but it looks like a rectangular block when you see from the top. Then we have T2 here. Then we have T2 here. Similarly, you will find, of course, this is our T2, this is our T2 here, and this is our T3, this is our T3 here, cylindrical surface, and as you can see, this is our face, and similarly this face will be here. So this is our T4, this is our T4, and this is our T5, this is our 5. Then this is our T6. Similarly, as you can see, this face represents this face, and obvious this is T2 here. So it looks like this. This is the top view of this component. And as you can see, you in front view you cannot see this slot, but in the top you can see, when you see from top. So this this slot you can observe here. And similarly, let me draw the side view. Okay, so I would like to erase the eraser with this. After erasing, I will show you what will be the top side view. Okay, so I will show you what will be the top view. Okay, so now let me take the side view example first. Okay, so now this is, I have erased all this, then I am taking the pen once again. So okay, let me take, when you see from this figure left side, so you can find this face. Okay, so I'm taking this as S1 here, and similarly you can also find this face S2. Okay, so this face and this face you will find like this exactly, and even though it is an inclined plane, it looks like a rectangular face, and we will find one slot looks like this. The slot looks like this. So we are represented this face and this face, and similarly you will also find this face here. So exactly at the height, so we will find this face also here. So this face I'm assuming as S3. So you can see this S3 face also here. So S1, this one, S1, and of course you will find one edge here. Okay, you take this as an edge. Then this is our S2, S3 is over. Then finally you will get this face also here. This face, I'm taking this as S4, but in the side view it looks like a curve like this. Okay, so we'll take a curve here. Uh, Take a compass and take the radius and you connect this like this. It looks like that. This is our S4. This is our S4. It looks like this. Okay, and we will also have one dotted line here because this edge we cannot see, so that we need to represent that as a dotted line at the appropriate height up to this point. Okay, so then let me show this in the side view. Okay, yes, as I said just now, so you will find this face, of course, yes, it is absolutely right, and this line will not come up to here, this will come up to here only. Okay, so up to here we will get, I'm erasing that. So as I said, we have one dotted line here, one face here, and as I said with you, this is our S2 and this is our S3, and similarly I said with you, this is our S4 and this is our S3, and finally we have one dotted line here, and this represents this one, and this represents this face, and S4 is this, S1 is this, S1 is this, and S2 is this. So this is how the front view, side view, and top view of the engineering component that we are considered. Now let me move further to see one more example in this case. Now I'm taking one more example here, and this is, I'm assuming this as my front view X here. Then yes, absolutely, this is our front view. When you see from the front, so we can find this face S1 and we can find this face S2, and finally we will find one dotted line in the front view because we cannot see this edge. this edge you cannot see, so we need to represent that edge as a dotted line. So front view, we will get one rectangle block, so and we have one triangle block. In the triangle block we will find one dotted line. It looks like this. Finally we will get one rectangle block like this, and we have one triangle shape like this, and at the appropriate height, so we will get one dotted line. It looks like this. Let me see. These dimensions are also given here. Okay, we will have one rectangle block here, one triangle block. This is our S2, and as I said, this is our S1. Then when you see from the top, uh, we will get this face, top view. Of course, we will have on this top face. Then finally we have one, this face also you can see, this is also looks like a rectangular face, T2, right? And finally we have T3 on the other side. Then we have this face also, T4. So all these faces you can see. So now let me take the top view for this, and you project all these lines here, and it looks, as I said, this is our top T1. So T1, and similarly this is our T2, as I said just now. And on the other side we have one more face, this is our T3. Then I said with you we have T4 here, and this is our T4. Then finally we have one edges here. These two edges you can also see as a dark lines or a sharp edges. So this is what the front view and top view of the given mechanical component or engineering component. Now let me move further to see in another component. So I'm assuming this as X here. Then when you see from the front or in this X side, so you can see this face, front one, F1 I am assuming, okay. Then you can see this face, of course, F2 I'm assuming. You can also see this face, F3, then you can see this face, F4, and finally you can see this face, F5. So when we see this component from front or in this view, we can see five faces. One is here, one small rectangular block, and to that small rectangular block, so to this small rectangular block F1, and we have one rectangular block to all the sides of this small square. So we will get the rectangular shapes like this. This is exactly the shape we will get when you draw the front view for this component. Now take an XY line here, take an XY line, as I said with you. So you will find F1 here, and similarly, and this is your F2, and this is your F3, and this is your F5, and this is your F4. So this is F4 as I said with you, and this is F5, this is F5, and similarly this is F2, this is our F2, and this is this is F3, sorry, this is F3, and this is F5. So this is how looks like when we see this component from the front. Now let me erase this first. Let me erase all these first. Then I would like to draw the top view for this component. Then I would like to draw the top view for this component. Then I would like to draw the top view for this component. Let me take the pointer once again, pen once again. So when you see from the top, and it is a symmetric component, so even in the top view also you will get the same geometry. So you will get this as T1, of course, and to this a square block, you will find this face, and you will find this face, and you will find this face similarly, and this face. So in this case also, same shape we will get like this. Okay, you can see, as you can see, this is our T1, this is our T1, and similarly you will find T2 here now, and T3 here, then T4 here. Okay, so T3 and T2. Okay, then T1, T2, T3. Then we have 4 to this side, T1, T2, and T5. This is, of course, and finally this will become our T4. It looks like this. When you see from the top, you will find the same figure as we have seen in the front view. Same shape as you can see in this figure, you will find the same shape as we have in the front view, and this will become our top. And even when you see in any of the side, even when you see this fig component from the bottom, when you see this component from the left, right, it looks like same figure because it is symmetric about all the axes. Now let us see this, even if the side view also. So you will find this face, you will find this face similarly, and you will find this face, and this face. So this edge and this edge will coincide, this edge and this edge will coincide, and similarly these two will coincide, this will coincide like this, and this and bottom will coincide. So this is what the front view, side view, and top view of the given mechanical component. Now let me move further to see, take another example. So this figure I am assuming as front view for this, like this. In the front view, we will find this face, one rectangle, one inside the other. This is our front view, and uh, front view looks like this only. Okay, so let us see the front view. So draw XY line, and you will find only this face. You will find only this face, F1 face, as I said. And but finally, we need to represent this dotted line at the front view. Of course, that is what he have shown. But in the middle, we have a material, so that he is also representing as a dotted line, of course. So this dotted line needs to be represented, of course, is also representing this line. And at the bottom also, we have one dotted line here. At the sides also we have one dotted line, and the sides also dotted line. So even the side view, front view, side view, top view will also look similar like the previous component. Then uh, then when you see from the uh, front, side, and down, okay, you take this component. Even this I am assuming as the front view, and this component is also looks similar when you see from the front, side, and top, because it is symmetric about all the axes, as you can see. So even in the front view you can see this face F1, and even you can see this face and F2 and F3 you can see here, F4 you can see here, and similarly at the bottom also we have F5. Then at this side also, you have F6. Totally in front we will get the 6 faces. As I said, this is our F1 and this is our F2. Okay, so this shape is F2, then F3. Okay, this is our F3, then F4, this is our F4, then this is our F5, and this is our F6. So that you cannot see. This F6 we cannot observe in the three-dimensional figure, but it is a symmetric figure, so that we need to assume that this face is always there. Even when you see this component from the top also, it looks same faces, as you can see. So this face, this face on the both sides, all the sides we have. So this face represents this one, and finally we will have the backward also. So this one and the left side, right side, top side. Even the side also, side view also you can see here. Side view also, even the side view also you can see the same. Even when you see here also, so you will find the same shape, and the sides, bottom, top, it looks similar. Then I'm talking one more example here. I'm taking this is an X. When you see from the front, it looks like this. You will find this face F1, and this will be your F2, you can see, and finally you have one dotted line like this in this face. So now you can see uh, it looks like this, as I said. So you will find this and this dotted line, finally you have this projection here. So when you see from the top, you have this face T1, and you have this face T2, and similarly you have T3 here, and we have one dotted line at the bottom, and we have this edge here. Thus that edge also needs to be shown as a dotted line. As you can see, when you see from the top is not shown here, because top is not shown here. So to this component is asked only the front view and side view, but not the top view. So okay, I'm taking out the top view. I'm taking eraser, but to this figure top view is not, we are not going to draw the top view. Of course, when you see the top view, of course it looks like this. I will draw you. For you, I will draw you. So top view looks like this. So we will get this face, and similarly, so we will have one face here, this face, and similarly we have this face. Similarly, we have this face, and finally we have one dotted line here. We have one dotted line here. We have one dotted line here. It looks like this. So this is exactly the top view. So the top view is not shown in this. So the top view is not shown in this, so that I have shown the top view also here. So now let us see the side view. So when you see the side view, it looks like this. In side view, you will see this face S1, and this face you can see, and finally you can see S3. Only three faces you have. As you can see, this is our S1, and this is our S2, and this is our S3. So no dotted lines in this. The dotted lines will come in top view, as you can see in this figure. Now I'm moving further to see one more example here. I'm taking this as a front view. In front view, so you will find this face F1, okay, and you will find this face F2, and similarly you will find one more rectangular face here F3. So totally three faces we have in top view. It looks like this. As I said with you, this is our F1, and this is our F2, face 2, and we have one rectangular face here F3, and this is not a dotted line. Please make it as a center line. Please make it as a center line like this. Then when you see from the top, you will find this face T1, one circular face, and we have one rectangular face T2, and similarly you will find this face, okay, this face or T3, and on the right side also you will find this face T4. So now let me see this. As I said with you, this is your T1, and this is your T2, and this is your T3. Of course, this is combined together as a single face T4, or both you can take it as a same face, T3 and T4. This is how the first front view and side view, in front view and top view of this component in first angle projection. Now you take this also one example, and when you see from the front, you can see this face and this curve you can see, and this face you can see this face, and similarly you can find this face totally. So you can find three faces here as I said with you. And when you see from the top, as I said with you, you will find this face, you will find this face, you will find this face, and finally you will find this face. And this looks like a curve, and finally you will get a circle here, as you can see. So this is the face, represents this face, and finally you have this face, and so you don't get this line here. Please make a correction. You don't get this line here. It is a single face. As I said with you, you have one circle here, one curve here, and all this looks like this. Even you take one more example here, it looks like this, front view looks like this, and top view looks like this. So thank you for this session. And the next session we will see the some more components